Welcome to Private Practice Lounge. I'm Janessa Borges, a first-gen Latina therapist that teaches other therapists how to have successful, full-paying private practices with zero stress. And today I want to talk about something very important. So somebody just asked, what do I do to prepare to start transitioning into leaving my full-time job? So this is a little dicey, and I know why, because I was in your shoes. Whether this is leaving another employer, community mental health, another agency, a school, chances are you don't have guidance and you don't want to ask anybody because you're not ready for anybody to know that you are ready to go out on your own, whether or not you've opened your private practice doors yet. So I'm going to go through some of the basics that I wish I knew before I left my full-time employment. The first thing you're going to research is whether or not there is any disability insurance in place. Why? Big companies, agencies, school districts have disability insurance, short-term life insurance, medical. And I know what you're thinking, Janessa, I'm trying to save money. I don't need to spend any extra, but here's the beauty. Once you're part of a bigger organization, there are some limitations to it. So research it. Your company probably does offer it. So if you are thinking that you may want to have a child in the future, or if you're past that stage, just in case anything happens, short-term disability insurance is so pivotal. And guess what happens? After a certain amount of time working at an agency or place that offers that, once you enroll, they take a little piece of your salary, whatever that is. And remember, there's a big scope of where it's minimal to higher. I'm a big fan of the more the better. So depending on how much you're putting in, you get a percentage of what your salary or the average of your salary has been the past few years. And you can take that with you when you leave because now you're part of that company, even though you're no longer part of that employer. So that's one way to help what your employer currently offers and be able to take it with you. Again, it's a little complex. I'm not going to get into the details, not my specialty, but research short-term disability insurance. Very different than like maternity leave with the state or anything else that you have in place. Really important to have, especially if you're in the US. I know I have some people from Canada that always watch. I know you guys have your own system. Whether it means that you end up in a hospital, you have to have an emergency surgery, or God forbid there's a car accident, and there are all types of insurance for you not being able to work, but still being compensated as if you were working, especially when you are in private practice and you're counting on your salary. And as I tell my kids, you don't work, you don't get paid. Short-term disability insurance. Health insurance. So I was very fortunate, I will say, because I was already married by the time I left, and I am on my husband's insurance. However, had I not been married, I would have still taken the plunge into private practice. Here's what I want you to research, right? Does your insurance, if you don't have a spouse or a partner that your insurance is under, does your insurance, your current insurance that you have, do they offer COBRA? Don't know what it stands for, but COBRA is pretty much, I no longer work with you, I'm going to pay a little bit more, but I will still have insurance coverage. Most insurances or employment have to offer you that, so there is no discontinuation of your coverage. So the continuity is there. If your place of employment is too high, doesn't offer it, whatever the logistics, look into the insurance marketplace. That is what most therapists that I've run into that don't have a partner that they have insurance under use. So the marketplace for insurance, also known as Obamacare, look into that. It does vary. It's based on your salary, also not my expertise. I'm just here to tell you the things to look out for, but I always want you to defer to the experts in different areas. Moving on. So we've talked about short-term disability and we've talked about health insurance if you leave your employment. Then I want you to think about, and I don't want to scare you, having an emergency fund. I don't want you to focus too much on this because I don't want this to deter you, right? But I do want you to think about whether there might be slow months, or if you have a baby, or if a family member is sick, and there might be days where you're not ready or you are unable to get to work, right? And that is income you're not having if you are in private practice full time. I'm going to do a whole other video with my financial strategist, Gabby Rincon. She is phenomenal on exactly how to save what percentages. But for right now, I just want you to think about just starting to put a little bit of money aside to kind of buffer any unexpected expenses you may run into in private practice. And there will always be unexpected things that happen, but do not be scared to move forward. I just mentioned Gabby. So something I wish I would have done from the beginning was sought out a financial strategist. I will link Gabby's information below. She is phenomenal, and she is a financial strategist that specializes in working with the Latino community and the BIPOC community on teaching them financial education so they can live money stress-free. Gabby's phenomenal, super affordable, and again, I will link you below. It is a consultation's $100. It is insane, and if you decide to continue to work with her after that, you can actually roll that $100 investment in your business, tax deductible, into any future packages you have with her. So financial strategist is a must if you are thinking of going out on your own. Pension or retirement. So if you have a retirement account with your current employer or you have a pension, again, this is where that financial strategist comes in. Call Gabby. You want to figure out if you're going to keep it where it is, if it's better to reinvest it somewhere else, to roll it over, all things I don't know about, call Gabby. Your vacation days. Now, I know the people that are more seasoned, and we're going to get into the ethic and the moral compass of all of this. Listen, unless your company, so find out, do you get paid for unused vacation days? If you do, great. If it's worth it for you, go for it. Cash those in. If you don't get paid for them, or you're not going to get paid what you feel is comparable in your salary, then take your sick days. Now, you can do it responsibly, you can sprinkle them out, but go live your life, because sometimes they'll pay you and sometimes they won't, and it is your time to do your research. Step number 7, start setting some boundaries. This means different things to different people. It can be as simple as don't start taking on new cases. Again, a little touchy if you know you're leaving, but your boss doesn't know you're leaving yet. Just kind of be more mindful about your schedule and what that looks like so you can plan for anything else that comes up. Start thinking about termination with your clients. So if you're going into private practice, chances are you are already doing some clinical work, or maybe you're working at a school and you have more of a school social worker or school counselor role. That is okay. You're ready to take the leap. Some people might be not happy for you if they're your bosses. Some people will be excited, and some people won't know how to process. So start termination as when you can, right? Start the termination process with people. At least start kind of tightening up what we've accomplished, the goals that you've set, the progress that you've made, the coping skills that you have. Whether or not they know you're starting to terminate, at least internally start terminating the process with them, because we want to be fair to the people that are staying behind while we're moving forward in life. And moving forward, you should, because you deserve it, my friend. Number 9, I want you to do research about what you need to do before you start your private practice. And if you haven't watched it yet, I actually have 2 videos you have to watch. One of them is my step-by-step checklist of what you need to have in place before you start a private practice, and the other one is all about the expenses associated with it. I will make sure to link those videos below. Watch them, and there are freebies and checklists attached to those. So again, we're thinking about the things before I think about starting. This is the next step. What do I actually need to do to start my practice? Right now we're talking about what do I need to think about before I think about starting my practice, the pre to the pre-contemplation. And then last but not least, I want you to give yourself a deadline. Choose a date where you're going to start your practice part-time, transition to your practice, or completely leave your full-time private institution or public institution or community mental health. Pick that date, set that date, and stick to it. Because if you don't have a date in mind, then chances are it will be harder to stick with it. No excuses. Put down a date right now, my friends. I hope this video helped. Make sure to like and subscribe so you're the first one to know when another video is available. See you next time.